Welcome to another stunning episode of Eric Braverman's The Greatest Music Ever Created and How It Ruined Our Lives. With special guest vocalists Corey Taylor of Stone Sour and Slipknot fame, and friend of the show, Five Finger Death Punch's own Ivan Moody.
And you're a musical genius.
Well, I do my best.
What the hell happened in Iowa that caused all the emotional trauma? That through your whole career of music, I mean, it looks like a lot of emotional trauma.
Yeah.
Whether it be Slipknot or the Stone Sour now.
It was just a brutal growing up, I mean, and I was so kind of, until like just recently, but when I was growing up, Iowa was so kind of isolated, you know? I mean, it was just, there wasn't anything cool. There wasn't anything great about it. And, you grow up in that kind of white trash mentality, you're going to deal with a lot of crazy shit, So I grew up with abuse. I grew up with, moving around a lot. I grew up, I didn't know my dad until I was 30, So, I mean, I grew up with a lot of strikes against me, being poor. It just wasn't the best. It wasn't by far the worst, but it wasn't great, So when I first started kind of learning how to play music, that's how I invented, I mean, that's how I got it out. And luckily I did. I mean, I could have gone a whole different way with things.
But what about now with Stone Sour? There's still, the songs mainly seem to be about emotional trauma. Are you still getting that out?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, it's nothing to do with back then. Let's put it that way. I mean, I've got that all out of my system. Now it's like more recent crap, I mean, it's like the last 5 years have been a roller coaster for me, I ended my first marriage, kind of went through a weird 2 to 3 year craziness, kind of, dated a couple people, didn't really work. Then I met my new wife. So I mean, I've gone from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs, and but it's great, I mean, it's really good. I'm in a really good point in my life, and it just feels good to know that I'm happy for the first time in a long time.
Do you feel better without the mask?
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't?
No,
but
it doesn't.
Can't you disconnect easier? Can't you disconnect easier?
Well, not really. I mean, it is what it is, I mean, everybody puts so much focus on the masks, and people have to realize that without that person behind them, it's just a fucking mask.
Yes, but obviously it did a big impact. Like, did your mask mean anything, or was it just supposed to look nasty?
No, it was just a visualization of what I wanted to do, and that was it. I mean, it wasn't supposed to represent anything inherently spiritual. It was just my way of kind of turning that mirror back on everyone else.
Well, you said the spiritual thing. When I go to a Slipknot show, and I thought this in my mind the first time when you played the Celebrity Theater here in this town, that in the round
I remember.
I thought someone was going to get hurt. But that I looked at it like the greatest heavy metal puppet show in the world. Like a Godzilla movie. It's like, it's great, but it's these crazy puppets or things climbing around.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was always that element of danger, though. I mean, there always has been. I mean, even up until the All Hope Is Gone tour. I mean, there was just that element of, you don't know what the hell is going to happen.
Well, what's the worst injury you ever received performing? Worst injury?
Oh Christ, I've had several. I almost detached my retina. I've had lacerations on my corneas. I've had to play whole shows with eye patches underneath the mask. My legs have been set on fire. I broke my toe. I mean, it's just, I mean,
did it ever stop a show, or did you ever?
No, I just kept going. The only thing I've ever had to cancel a show for is my voice. Let's put it that way.
Oh, so you get pretty crazy with it.
A little bit.
Why Stone Sour? Like, you went back to that.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just go and start a whole other thing again?
Because it was really,
matter?
It was really feeling limited in Slipknot. It really was. And I'm the kind of guy I mean, the whole reason that I joined Slipknot in the first place was the reason that I kind of ended up going back to Stone Sour, ironically, is because I wanted to do something different. I wanted to expand musically. And by Iowa, it was getting very, very, very just straight gnarly. There was no,
straight gnarly.
I mean, it really was. I mean, not only musically.
As Slipknot fans, we demanded that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you gotta understand, we only give you what we feel like giving you.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that's just the way we've always been. And I had to be able to make different kinds of music. And I wasn't getting to do it with Slipknot.
But you went back to Stone Sour. You
Yeah.
didn't start another thing. You didn't start like the Copper Biscuits.
I went with what I knew.
Okay.
You know, I went with what I knew. I mean, Stone Sour was the first band I'd ever really started. You know, I mean, it was the first real band that I was ever in. So to go back to that just made the most sense.
Is it named after a cocktail?
Yes, it is.
So
Yeah.
that's another thing, you know, our show, The Greatest Music Ever Created and How It Ruined Our Lives, is always, you could have named it after a kind of a cake.
Yeah.
You know, but you named it after a cocktail.
Yeah.
Did that play into it just ever? Like, hey, it's named after alcohol?
No, not really. I mean, we just thought it was a cool name. You know, we saw it on a drink menu at a bar, and we were just like, oh, it's kind of fucking cool. You know, and it just stuck. You know, it was a really cool kind of dichotomy too. There was this like almost unconscious dichotomy between Stone and Sour. You know, you almost got like two ends of the spectrum. You know, and for us, it was just like it just kind of metaphorically just made sense.
Before you challenge me, you must challenge my lowliest student. Sanjay, choose a weapon. Choose wisely.
How about this? Nice little stick. I gotta put on a little something more comfortable, kind of my battle warrior comfort gear. Excuse me.
What's the meaning of this? Are you auditioning for Slipknot? I can see we need more training.